12 Tibetan deities long ago, in the 7th century, Tibetan Buddhism started during the time of a cool guy named Songtsen Gampo. Something really special happened when two princesses, Princess Birkuti from Nepal and Princess Wenchang from the Tang dynasty, came to Tibet. They brought with them statues of Buddha, who is like a super important figure in Buddhism. Imagine this. Princess Birkuti brought a little Buddha statue that was only 8 years old, and Princess Wenchang brought another one that was 12 years old. These statues were like the start of Tibetan Buddhism. Fast forward more than 1,300 years, and Tibetan Buddhism has become super unique with its own style and cool local features. Even now, Tibetan monks learn and practice Buddhism using these special statues of Buddha, who is kind of like their hero. In Tibetan monasteries, which are like schools for monks, you'll find these statues, and they are a big deal. Each statue has its own special meaning, name, and looks. So, Tibetan Buddhism is like a really old story that started with two princesses bringing cool statues to Tibet, and it's still a big part of Tibetan culture today. Buddhas. In places like Tibet, people really love having statues of Buddha. There are different kinds like Shakyamuni Buddha, Jampa Buddha, Immortal Buddha, and Medicine Buddha. They're like the superheroes of Tibetan Buddhism. Some statues are super famous, like the 12-year-old Shakyamuni statue in the Jokhang Temple. Imagine having a statue that's been around for 12 whole years. There's also a Buddha statue in the Ramosh Temple, a cool Kamba Buddha statue in the Toshal Hunpo Monastery, another Kamba Buddha statue in the Drepung Monastery, and a Shakyamuni statue in the Sakya Monastery. It's like a big team of Buddhas, each with its own special place. Meet Gautama Siddhartha, the amazing Buddha. Upon a time, in a faraway land called Lumbini, a baby named Gautama Siddhartha was born. Everyone knew he was special because, before he came into the world, his mom had a dream about a beautiful white elephant. Gautama's parents were overjoyed, and they called him Siddhartha, which means one who achieves his aim. Little did they know that this tiny baby would grow up to become the amazing Buddha. Growing up as a prince, Siddhartha lived in a palace, and he had everything a prince could wish for: fancy clothes, tasty food, and lots of toys. But as he grew older, he started wondering about the world outside the palace walls. He wanted to know about people, their feelings, and why they sometimes felt sad. The great discovery. One day, Siddhartha decided to explore the world beyond the palace. As he ventured out, he saw things he had never seen before: people who were old, sick, and sad. These sights made him really think about life and why people suffer. Determined to find answers, Siddhartha left the palace and set out on a journey of discovery. He met wise teachers and tried different ways to understand life. But it wasn't until he sat under a Bodhi tree and meditated that everything became clear. Becoming the Buddha. After many days of meditation, Siddhartha became enlightened. That means he found a deep understanding of life and how to be truly happy. From that moment on, people called him the Buddha, which means the enlightened one. The Buddha shared his wisdom with everyone. He taught about kindness, compassion, and the importance of finding peace within ourselves. People from all around came to listen to his teachings, and they felt happier and more peaceful because of what he shared. The Four Noble Truths. The Buddha had some special truths he wanted everyone to know. Life can be tricky. Sometimes things don't go the way we want. Why we feel not so great. The Buddha figured out that wanting too much or not liking things can make us sad. There's a way to feel better. The Buddha showed us that by being kind, understanding, and not wanting too much, we can be really happy. The cool path to happiness. The Buddha shared a path to follow. It's like a guide on how to be the best version of ourselves. The circle of life. The Buddha also talked about something called the Wheel of Dharma or Wheel of Life. It shows how everything in life is connected: birth, life, death, and rebirth. It's like a big adventure, and we're all part of the circle. And that, my friends, is the incredible story of Gautama Siddhartha, the little prince who became the wise and wonderful Buddha. Bodhisattvas buddies on a big, loving mission. Once upon a time, in the heart of Buddhism, there were these amazing beings called bodhisattvas. They were like superheroes, but instead of fighting villains, they had a superpower called compassion, and their mission was to spread kindness everywhere. Meet the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are like really wise and kind friends who want to help everyone. One of their coolest powers is that they choose to be reborn again and again to help others find happiness. Imagine having a friend who keeps coming back just to make sure you're doing okay. Avalokiteshvara, the one with many arms. One of the most famous bodhisattvas is Avalokiteshvara. Kids love Avalokiteshvara because he has many arms, and each arm is ready to help someone in need. It's like having lots of hands to give out hugs, high fives, and help whenever you feel a bit down. Manjushri, the wisdom buddy. Then there's Manjushri, the bodhisattva of wisdom. He's a friend you'd want when you need help with homework or figuring out tricky puzzles. Manjushri is super smart, and he uses his wisdom to make the world a better place. Siddhagarbha, the earth defender. Siddhagarbha is like the environmental superhero of the bodhisattva team. He cares a lot about our planet, and he's always ready to clean up, plant trees, and make sure the earth stays healthy. If you ever need a buddy to join you in picking up trash, Siddhagarbha is your go-to friend. Kids and bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas love kids because they know that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. They're like the best buddies who cheer you on when you're kind to your friends, share your toys, or help someone who needs it. The Bodhisattva vow. Bodhisattvas take something called the Bodhisattva vow. It's like a promise to always be kind and helpful. They say, for the benefit of all beings, I will become a bodhisattva. It's their way of saying, I'm here to spread love and make the world awesome. Be your own bodhisattva. Guess what? You can be a little bodhisattva too. Every time you share, help a friend, or show kindness, you're spreading the same love and joy that bodhisattvas do. You're like a mini superhero on a mission to make the world a better and happier place. And that, dear friends, is the story of the bodhisattvas, the big-hearted buddies who show us that kindness is the coolest superpower of all. Who is it? Guanyin is the incarnation of wisdom and compassion in Buddhism. When all beings encounter any difficulties and pains and can recite the name of Guanyin sincerely, they will be rescued by Guanyin. The famous Potala Palace in Lhasa is considered to be the dojo of Guanyin Bodhisattva. Potala is the transliteration of Sanskrit, translated as Polo, referring to the island where Guanyin lives. The 6-character mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, which is well known to all Tibetans, is the mantra of Guanyin Bodhisattva. In Tibet, Songtsen Gampo is regarded as the incarnation of Guanyin Bodhisattva. How can I tell? Holding a jade vase and wearing a crown, she rides on a golden roar. Because she is dedicated to assisting Amitabha and saving the world by seeking the sound of suffering, she has a Buddha statue of Amitabha on her crown. Who is it? Manjusri Bodhisattva is responsible for wisdom in Buddhism, and his dojo is in Mount Wude, Shaanxi, China. In Buddhist temples, he usually stands on the left side of Sakyamuni Buddha, serving as the left guard. How can I tell? Manjusri's images are mostly non-male and non-female, but they are more like a female. Manjusri's mount is a green lion, representing wisdom and mighty power. She is holding a sword which represents wisdom. The image of Manjusri of Tantric Buddhism, topped with 5 buns, indicates that the 5 kinds of Buddha wisdom are sufficient. Tara, the awesome friend who always has your back in the magical world of Buddhism. There's a superheroine named Tara. She's not just any superheroine. She's like that super cool friend who's always there to help you out when you need it the most.